I am welcoming you all of them to my channel. Today I am going to discuss about the instrumental deviation from Beer's law. Instrumental deviation. Instrumental deviation of Beer's law. First thing, Beer's law strictly applies to the monochromatic radiation used for study. Monochromatic radiation have to be used in the system. Monochromatic radiation. In case if there is any chance of using polychromatic radiation, then there is a possibility of deviation from Beer's law. Polychromatic radiation. If the system was used by polychromatic radiation, then what happened? Beer's law will get deviate. That means you will get a non-linearity between absorbance versus concentration graph. Polychromatic radiation. What does it mean? Polychromatic radiation is a simple multicolored light. Multicolored light. That is, it has many wavelengths. Light of many wavelength. Okay. How can you get light? Light that is essentially monochromatic. Light that is essentially monochromatic can be obtained by grating, diffracting or refraction of that polychromatic light to obtain monochromatic light. Otherwise, polychromatic radiation sources that have continuous wavelength, that have continuous distribution of wavelengths. Or polychromatic sources have continuous distribution of wavelength that are used in conjunction with the polychromatic sources that have a continuous distribution of wavelength. That are used in conjunction. With grating or filter to isolate a nearly symmetric band of wavelength. So, a system should be used with single wavelength, continuous single wavelength. If there is any chance of using polychromatic radiation, then there will be more possible that deviate from Beer's law. Okay, now let us assume a system having two wavelengths, that is lambda prime and lambda double prime was used in that system. Then I assume that case Beer's law is also following. Under that case, we can write the equation like log I 0 prime by log I prime is equal to epsilon prime CL for lambda prime. At the same time, log I0 double prime by I double prime, which is equal to epsilon double prime CL for lambda double prime. Okay, we can rearrange this equation a little bit. We can rearrange this equation. I mean I0 prime by I prime, which is equal to 10 power epsilon prime CL, or I can say I prime, which is equal to I0 prime 10 power minus epsilon prime CL. In case of, this is for the case of lambda prime. You have a system, the system contains two different wavelengths, both wavelength, just assume that is following Beer's law. On that basis, I have written a equation. In case of I double prime is equal to I0 double prime 10 power minus epsilon double prime CL. That is for this equation for second wavelength. Okay? Okay. Now let me write the absorbance. You have two wavelength that was passed in the solution. So the measured absorbance is the sum of intensities emerging from the solution. Sum of intensities emerging from the solution. That is I log of I0 prime plus I0 double prime divided by I prime plus I double prime. Okay. Now what happened? We can substitute the I prime value we know, but let me substitute in this equation. This A prime is equal to log of I0 prime plus I0 double prime divided by I0 prime 10 power minus epsilon prime CL plus plus I0 double prime 10 power minus epsilon double prime CL. Okay. We can modify this equation a little bit. Log I0 prime plus I0 double prime minus log of I0 prime 10 power minus epsilon CL plus I0 double prime 10 power minus epsilon prime CL. Okay. To simplify this equation, let us assume epsilon prime which is equal to epsilon double prime. Assume epsilon prime equal to epsilon double prime. Under this case, what will happen? Absorbance is equal to log I0 prime plus I0 double prime minus log I0 prime plus I0 double prime minus log 10 power minus epsilon CL. Okay. Then these two will get cancelled. You will get log 10 epsilon prime CL, which is equal to epsilon prime CL, which is equal to again epsilon double prime CL. So you can see this equation. Now it is very clear that absorbance, even though you have two different wavelength, what happened? Absorbance is proportional to epsilon CL. Under the case of molar absorptivity of epsilon prime and epsilon double prime will be same. If these two values will be same means then Beer's law is obeyed. However, what happened? If this epsilon and epsilon prime, how much it is deviating? if the value is getting how much it differed, then that much amount will be deviate from Beer's law. The relationship between the absorbance versus concentration will be no longer linear when the molar absorptivity differ. That means I can draw a graph. This is one is concentration in x-axis, absorbance in y-axis. Okay, if you have, you get a linear straight line when the two absorptivity value is same. That is epsilon 1 is equal to 1000, epsilon 2 is equal to is that also 1000. Then what happened? Both of them are constant means then Beer's law will be valid. You will get a linearity between concentration versus absorbance. But when these two values will get differ, how much differing, that much non-linearity can be seen in this graph. For example, this is the case of epsilon 1 is equal to 1250, epsilon 2 is equal to 750. More deviation can be seen for the case of epsilon 1 is equal to 1500 and epsilon 2 is equal to 500. Again I am repeating, epsilon 1 is the molar absorptivity for molar absorptivity at lambda 1. Epsilon value 2 is equal to molar absorptivity at lambda 2. Okay, so when epsilon 1 and epsilon 2 is constant, then the deviation from Beer law is minimum. Then if when you are going to measure the spectrophotometric determination, when you are going to determine the value of something from the from the graph, where you have to choose the measurement, which region you have to choose the measurement. That is very, very important here. For example, you have chosen, I can draw here maybe, you can, when you have a plot of lambda versus absorbance, you have a graph of an absorption spectra, then you can choose mostly when you are going to choose a wavelength measurement within this region, that means band A. If you choose the maximum wavelength of absorption, if you choose in this region, then what happened? Molar absorptivity in this region will be almost similar, almost constant with the wavelength. But when you come to the steeper region, if you are going to choose this region, then what happened? The molar absorptivity will be more differed in this region. It will cause more deviate from Beer's law. This is band A, this will be considered as band B. So under this case, when you plot a graph, what will happen? This is the case for band A. In case of band B, when you are going to plot concentration versus absorbance. So band A, that means when you measured the spectrophotometric determination, if you have done in this region, that is the maximum wavelength absorption. If you have done here, what happened? You can get most probably the more reliable data, that is not deviate from Beer's law. But when you come to band B, that is a steeper region, when you are going to measure any data in this region, then what happened? That Beer law will be more deviated, then you will never get a straight line. It will be always non-linearity versus of non-linearity of concentration versus absorbance. That we have to note that one. That is very important one. To avoid such deviation, it is best to select a wavelength. It is best to select a wavelength band near the wavelength of the maximum absorption. Near the wavelength of the maximum absorption. Where the analyte absorptivity deviates little, changes little with the wavelength. Okay. How to overcome this problem? I mean, the polychromatic radiation problem can be overcome by using high quality spectrophotometer, because usually if you have gone to the high quality spectrometer, it will provide a narrow range of wavelength. It will provide because if it provides narrow range of wavelength, then what happen? There will be very less chance to get the polychromatic radiation. Most probably what happen, high quality spectrophotometer will provide the narrow range of wavelength. Then what happen, the deviation of Beer's law will be minimum under that condition. Okay, the next one is stray light. Stray light is a kind of instrumental deviation for Beer's law. Stray radiation. First of all, stray radiation also will be called as false light. First of all, we have to define the stray radiation. It is defined as the radiation from instrument, that is outside the nominal wavelength band chosen for determination. Please underline that one. Radiation from the instrument, that is outside the nominal wavelength band chosen for determination. That is the most probably what happened. You can easily define the stray light. Stray light is the result of how its origin. The stray light is the result of scattering and reflection of light. Scattering and reflection of the surfaces of grating, lens or mirrors, filters and windows. Then when you when measurements are made in the presence of stray radiation, when measurements are made in the presence of stray radiation, the absorbance is always lower than the true absorbance. When measurements are made in the presence of stray light, or made in the presence of stray light, the measured absorbance, the observed absorbance is given by A S, which is equal to log of I 0 plus I S by I plus I S. I S is the intensity of stray radiation. I S is the intensity of stray radiation. I0 is the intensity, okay, intensity of irradiation, how much the intensity we are using that one. Then what happened? This will be how much amount of IS is there. Depending upon that, the absorbance will be changed. But you have to know that one, this whatever the observed, because of the presence of stray light, if there is a presence of any chance of presence of stray light, the how much the absorbance will be, the observed absorbance always lesser compared with the true absorbance. The observed absorbance in presence of stray light, is always lesser than the true absorbance. That means what will happen? It will give always negative deviation. Okay. I would like to plot a graph between absorbance and concentration with various percentage of stray light. Okay, this one absorbance in y-axis, concentration in x-axis, and we have IS by I0 into 100%. If the intensity of stray radiation is 0, that means 0% of this value, then you will get a linear curve. That is no deviation from Beer's law. When you have like there are, maybe you have 0.2%, what happened? 0.2% of stray radiation. Then what happened? It will be deviate at a higher absorbance value, most probably at 2. Then what happened? You have 1%, then 5%. Okay, so normally what happened? How can you overcome this problem? How can you overcome the stray radiation? Means try to measure the absorbance value around less than 1. If you have gone to higher absorbance, for example, if the value is around 2, then what happened? There is more possibility that because of the stray radiation, even though very less amount, what happened? The deviation, the non-linearity can be observed. So try to avoid to measure any kind of value from the graph, for that the absorbance is higher, more than 2. Then what happened? The second thing, first thing is you have to measure absorbance at lower value. Second thing, you can use expensive filters. If you use expensive filters, then what happen? You can avoid, you can minimize the intensity of stray radiation. That is the next option. So this, we have to very careful about these two options. And otherwise, maybe you can use a very good quality of the spectrophotometer, and if you carefully design the filter, what type of filters if you are using that, because the filter can be very important in case of avoid the stray radiation can be filtered in the can be filtered, because the quality of the filter is very important in case of to avoid the stray light. Okay, then the third one is mismatched cell. Mismatched cell, because it is more related to path length. Mismatched cell. Mismatched cell. So when you are going to use a cell for taking a sample, you have two cells, one for blank, another for sample and blank. In case if these two cells having the path length is differed, for example, one having the path length of L prime and another one having L double prime, then what happened? There is a possibility of deviation from Beer's law. So then under this case, you will get an intercept in the graph of the plot of the absorbance versus concentration. So you will get a equation in the form of y is equal to mx plus c. That means most probably you will get intercept. If there is mismatched cell, then you will get an intercept. Because usually what happened, that is the verification of Beer's law. At zero concentration, absorbance should be zero. That means the line should start from zero. That is the verification that can be verified by Beer's law. But when you have mismatched cell, that means you have two different cells. When you are going to measure your sample versus blank, that means both solvent correction was not compensated for this. Then under that condition, what happened? You will get an intercept in the graph between absorbance versus concentration. So how can you avoid this problem? Use a single beam spectrophotometer. If you use the single beam spectrophotometer, then that problem will be solved. Single beam spectrophotometer. Because single beam spectrophotometer, what happened? Single beam spectrophotometer. If you go with single beam spectrophotometer, you can use a same cell, same cuvette for both sample as well as blank. Under that condition, what happened? The origin of mismatched cell will be negligible. That is one of the option. Second one, you have to make sure that you are using the cuvette with the same path length. That you have to, if you make sure that one, what happened? Again, you can avoid the problem related to mismatched cells. Using carefully matched cells. Okay. Finally, I would like to thank you all of them for participated in this lecture.